Have you ever wondered what the strongest currency in the world is right now? It's an intriguing question, isn't it? Well, the title currently belongs to the US dollar, and for good reason. The US dollar is often referred to as the world's reserve currency, a title it has held for decades. It's the currency most used in international transactions, which is a testament to its global trust and widespread use. But what makes it the strongest? The answer lies in a combination of factors. Firstly, the economic stability of the United States plays a significant role. In a world where economic landscapes can shift overnight, the US provides a level of certainty and security that is hard to match. Secondly, the trust that the global community places in the US dollar is paramount. It's a currency that people feel safe holding, even in times of economic uncertainty. So the US dollar stands as the strongest currency. But why does it matter? Why does it matter if a currency is strong or not, you might ask? Well, the strength of a currency holds significant sway over the global economy. A robust currency can drive international trade as it gives a country more purchasing power. Think about it. With a strong currency, you can buy more foreign goods and services for less. Moreover, strength in currency also influences travel. The stronger your currency, the more bang you get for your buck abroad, making vacations or business trips less expensive. Now let's talk about inflation rates. A strong currency tends to keep inflation at bay. That's because goods from abroad become cheaper, reducing the cost of living and slowing down price increases. So, a strong currency has the potential to boost international trade, make travel more affordable, and curb inflation, all vital aspects of a thriving global economy. But what does this mean for investors? That's what we'll explore next. Is investing in US dollars a good idea? Now that's a question that's been asked more times than we can count. And the answer, as with most things in finance, is, it depends. Let's first talk about the idea of the US dollar as a safe haven asset. In times of economic uncertainty or instability, investors often flock to assets that are seen as stable or reliable. The US dollar, given its status as the world's primary reserve currency, often fits the bill. When global markets are in turmoil, the US dollar can act as a kind of financial shelter, a place where investors can park their money until the storm passes. But why is that? Well, the US economy is one of the largest and most diversified in the world. It's also backed by a strong and stable government. This makes the US dollar a relatively safe bet in the face of economic uncertainty. Now, investing in a stable currency like the US dollar can be a good defensive strategy. It's a way of preserving wealth rather than growing it. Think of it like this. If you're holding onto a currency that's losing value due to inflation or economic instability, converting that currency into US dollars can help maintain the purchasing power of your money. But as with any investment, there are potential risks and rewards. The value of the US dollar can fluctuate based on a variety of factors, including changes in interest rates, inflation, and geopolitical events. If the US economy were to experience a downturn, for example, the value of the dollar could fall. Also, while the US dollar often strengthens during times of economic uncertainty, it can weaken when the economy is doing well. This is because investors may move their money into riskier assets in search of higher returns. So, is investing in US dollars a good idea? It can be, especially as a defensive strategy during uncertain times, but it's important to remember that every investment carries risk. And as always, it's a good idea to diversify your portfolio. Investing in the US dollar can be a smart move, but it's not without its challenges. There's been a lot of talk about inflation in the US lately. How does this affect the strength of the dollar? Inflation, in simple terms, is the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. When inflation increases, every dollar you hold buys a smaller percentage of a good or service. So if the inflation rate is high, the value of the dollar would decrease in terms of what it can buy. Recently, the United States has been experiencing a rise in inflation. The Consumer Price Index, which is a measure of the average change over time in the prices paid by urban consumers, has seen a notable surge. This means that prices for everyday items are going up. The impact of this on the strength of the dollar is multifaceted. Domestically, it means that the purchasing power of the dollar is reduced. Internationally, it's a bit more complicated. Inflation can lead to a decrease in the value of the dollar compared to other currencies. This means that it could cost more dollars to buy goods from abroad. However, it's not all doom and gloom. The US economy is resilient and has weathered inflationary periods before. Remember, the strength of a currency is not only determined by its domestic buying power, but also by its standing on the international stage, and the dollar, despite recent inflation, continues to hold a powerful position in global markets. But despite these challenges, the dollar remains strong. So, is it a good idea to invest in US dollars right now? This question has been at the heart of our discussion today. We've explored the concept of the world's strongest currency, and how the US dollar consistently ranks at the top. It is no secret that the strength of a currency has significant implications, both domestically and internationally. The US dollar has long served as a safe haven asset, a place where investors can park their money during times of economic uncertainty. Its stability and global acceptance make it an attractive asset for many. We also dove into the topic of American inflation and its impact on investments. Inflation erodes the purchasing power of a currency. With the current inflation rate in the US, it's crucial to consider its effect on your investment's real return. Now, investing in the US dollar isn't without its risks. Currency markets can be volatile and influenced by a myriad of factors. But, if you're looking for a relatively stable asset that can serve as a hedge against uncertainty, the US dollar might be a viable option. Remember, investing is not a one-size-fits-all endeavor. It's about finding the right fit for your financial goals and risk tolerance. Ultimately, whether or not you should invest in US dollars depends on your specific circumstances and risk tolerance. Always make sure to do your due diligence before making any investment decisions.